Now, when you awaken after going through narcissistic abuse, you find yourself asking yourself things like, is there any good people out there? I'm talking about waking up. I'm not talking about this card hoover, this card hoover. The real waking up. You will find yourself asking a question, is there any good people on this planet? Yes, there is good people on the planet. Okay? Not everybody is empath, not everybody is chosen, and not everybody is a narcissist. There is regular people, ordinary people, normal, stable energy. They're just there doing their own thing. Now, what you will realize, ladies and gentlemen, awakening from one narcissist also means awakening from all narcissists. All it takes is just one. One. You don't need a team. One. And that is when you will understand what exactly do they mean when they say spiritual warfare. Now you see what it is, okay? You're going to understand what it is, spiritual warfare. When you awaken from one, you're going to awaken from all of them. You see, these individuals embody the same frequency. It's the same energy, it's the same demon. Okay? Operating within different people. It's the same demon. When you hear the story of somebody in China, when they're talking about the same their experience, and then you compare it to your own story, the first thing you realize, you're dealing with the same person. Is why I told you that this whole thing is spiritual warfare. These whole things are what personality this and personality that is a waste of time. The moment you understand what you are dealing with, your healing starts. You break the trauma bond. By awareness of what you're dealing with, understanding it, you break the trauma bond. Those demons don't have a hold of you when you know who they are. They can only operate when they are disguised as disorders, some different types of names. It's waste of time. The moment you figure out that frequency, you break the trauma bond. There's no other way around it. That is exactly what happened when I knew what was happening and I understood what I was dealing with. That was the beginning of my freedom, and I've never looked back. You will also realize that these people, they are reading the same playbook. You think that these guys, did they go to the same school? Because you see, when you wake up, one of the things, why am I doing this video is that when you wake up, you now start to see a similar energy around you. They have been there. They have been hidden in the shadows. They was there. A lot of those besties, the ones who used to take you out for those drinks, the ones who used to come to your house, that workmate of yours, the one you used to struggle all the time, you're struggling with them, you're fighting around with them, it was the same frequency. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. When you're chosen, when you're high vibrational, you attract out of these energy vampires. And even some of them don't even know who they are. Because this thing happens on a spiritual level. They don't know. They have never known. I remember doing a video and I told you guys, when you wake up, the narcissist will also wake up. They wake up. So the two people trigger each other to wake up. Okay? You can wake up, you realize what you've been dealing with, the narcissist also wakes up because now they start to recognize their patterns. It's not why you see a lot of times, you see now these days, so many narcissists, they're coming out, you know, they're understanding who they are, they're getting information. Now they know, you know. But before they was all operating in the dark, they didn't know. But now that people are starting to wake up, they're also waking up. So this awakening, like I've told you guys in so many videos, is divine intervention. Okay? It is divine intervention. They thought that they was playing game on you for all those years. But now they're realizing they were the ones playing themselves. You see? So when you awaken to one, like I've said, you awaken to all of them. And it is going to be very, I don't even have the best word for this. It is going to appear something like out of a movie. You will never understand where they're going to come from. They are all going to start coming out of the closet. You know? And in your mind, you're thinking that I just woke up a month ago. You know? I woke up 1 month ago. Then I looked around and I saw my sister. She was one of them. I saw my father. He was one of them. I saw my workmate. He was one of them. Because why? Do you know the reason why that is happening? Because now you're recognizing the energy. The energy is similar. It's a similar frequency. They all embody the same frequency. It's the same thing as you see the chosen ones vibrating at the frequency of love, authenticity, empathy, and all those things. They also, those people, they vibrate at the same frequency. So when you see another one, there's no question about it. You don't even have to gaslight yourself. The moment they start talking, you will know, this is one of them. You will be on your way. You know? What is that? The moment you recognize them, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to be on your way. So, if you're a person who has awakened, this video is for you. If you want to know what I'm talking about, take some footsteps backwards. Take some steps back. Look at your neighbor. Look at that person who used to come around and fight around with you. Look at that person in school. Look at that person in your uni. Look at that person who used to buy your products. You're going to see the energy. You're going to recognize it. Awakening is a very powerful event. I've told you it's a divine intervention. You will see. You will never understand where they're coming from, and you will know this has exactly what has been happening. Because when you pierce through that veil, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to see them there everywhere. Because I've told you, these things you see them, you cannot unsee them. There's no other way around it. You cannot wake up and go back to sleep. At least permanently. You may go back to sleep temporarily. You can never go back to sleep permanently because when you see it, you cannot unsee it. Narcissistic abuse is something that they never told us all these years. The very first thing they were supposed to teach us, nobody told us about these things. These people, they are many, they're everywhere. So your awakening is the beginning of your freedom. And again, when you wake up, you see one, you are going to awaken to all of them. It doesn't matter which country, what language they speak. When you know the pattern, you recognize it, and that is narcissism. It's what I've told you is spiritual. Okay, you cannot talk about a personality disorder and all narcissists around the world are doing the same thing. What kind of disorder is that? You know? Even mental disorders, people do different things. When you're talking about these so-called mental disorders, people do different things. But you cannot talk about a personality disorder when everybody else, all the people in that signature, in that frequency, they're doing the same thing. It's not possible. Okay? So just to give a heads up, the ones that are waking up is your beginning, or you just stepped into your freedom. Look around you, you're going to see a lot of them. They're around you, they're very close to you. They have always been very close to you. Some of them are even in your family. You will see that somewhere along your journey, you have always been attracting those people. Consciously or unconsciously, they used to find their way and gravitated towards you. So let us know what you think about the video, guys. I'd always love and appreciate your support. Leave us a comment, like, share, subscribe. I do love and appreciate your support. Please book a session. You may donate or support my channel if you want to. Everything you need, you will find it in the description below. And until then, see you guys in my next one. Denzo Moss signing out. Much love and blessings. Peace.